Welcome to another episode of Satisfying Static. We have decided that if Kristine gets fast enough, she's going to San Diego, October 21st.
That is kind of what just happened, yeah.
Yeah. Gets fast enough completing puzzles, that is. Are we starting another episode of Puzzle Talk? We did.
We did start another episode of Puzzle Talk, but you didn't introduce it that way, so yeah, I bet that was very confusing for a second.
Yeah, people are probably like, fast enough doing what?
Fast
what are you
enough?
talking
Yeah.
about?
At putting together puzzles, because there is a national puzzle competition that happens in San Diego,
A national puzzle competition that is happening in San Diego. We have a wedding to attend the 21st, but Olivia just said that I could fly out the 22nd if I wanted to compete. But the kicker is the winner last year was an hour and, 29 seconds. Today I completed a 500-piece puzzle in 3.5 hours. So
there is still time before October.
There is. So it would take some serious practice, but I guess we'll see. You got to start somewhere.
When do you have to qualify? Like if you wanted to compete, when would you have to submit your info by?
I think it said by October 1st.
Okay. So before October 1st, you have to get your time down to under 2 hours.
Yeah. So before October 1st, I have to decrease my time by 2 hours. Yeah, let's all laugh at how improbable that is.
No, I'm sure you can do it. It just sounds like a lot of puzzle making.
It's a ton of puzzle making. It's also like, it's not like being a sprinter where I can just like, running to decrease your time takes years of training. This should just take not years of training.
We'll see, I guess. Keep us updated as you have been.
I think it's all about, getting the mechanism down. Anyway, the first word is sword.
Sword. Okay, that's an interesting one.
I would like to start.
Go ahead.
I officially move to spell this word a different way.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's your biggest, that's the biggest takeaway from this word. I mean, I'll take it. I guess I can agree there.
When you look at it, phonetically, it looks like you should call it sword.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, obviously.
Like sword? Like what's the word? Sword?
That's not a word, though.
I know it's not, but SWORD looks like sword. It does not look like sword. It looks, because that would be SOWRD, sword.
Or
the only reason it makes sense that it's spelled the way it's spelled is because we know it's spelled that way.
But that's true of a lot of English words.
Agreed. I'm happy to open those up to add to the list of changing. I'm good with that.
That's fine. It probably will over time anyway. I don't have a lot to say about sword or words. English language is funny, though. We have more words than the French language.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
I was a little bit, but it does make a lot of sense. We have a lot of words that mean we have multiple words for the same thing in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Yep.
Not every language is like that. Surprise, surprise.
That is correct. You don't have anything else to say about sword?
No, it just made me think of like medieval times and Ren Faire, which I'm not really interested in or care about, so I don't really have anything to say about that.
You're breaking my heart. I fucking love medieval times. We just found out that there's one 3.5 hours away, and I've demanded Olivia go.
Don't get me wrong, I do love medieval times. I used to do social media for medieval times. I definitely have a soft spot for them.
Wait. You used to do social media for fucking the medieval times, and I'm just now hearing about it.
The one in Rosemont, it was very specific to that location, but yes, I worked for an agency where one of our clients was medieval times.
Oh my god.
So I definitely have a soft spot for medieval times, at least the one in Rosemont, because the employees are amazing, the team there is wonderful, and I love all of that for them. But like, am I one of those people where I'm like, oh, Ren Faire? No. 100% leave me out of it.
Wait.
Don't talk to me about fairy wings or elf ears. That's not me. Thank you.
You're talking about the one in Schaumburg, right?
Yeah.
The one by Chicago.
Yeah,
Schaumburg. Yeah. So, it's the only one I've been to. I've been to it like 3 times. Mm-hmm. It's my jam.
Mm-hmm. I love
the
that
Red
one.
And and I, we're great. We're great friends. Good dude. Don't know his name. I have selfies with him. He's awesome. I am not that person that goes to the Ren Faire and is like, yes, I'm going to buy a set of fairy wings here. Am I the person to go to a Ren Faire and get a big old turkey leg and watch people fake joust? Yes, I am that person. I am that person.
For sure. And like, I do think like for entertainment purposes, like, yeah, still all on board. Unfortunately, I've never been with or around people that were solely going because, like, oh, this is entertaining, let's enjoy it. It usually involves cosplaying of some kind. And I'm
Oh,
like, nah, I
yeah.
don't want to dress like a fairy to go to Ren Fair this year. Thank you, though.
To be clear, none of us, we don't think that's wrong. That's
No,
great.
no,
You do
not at
you.
all. 100%.
We're just not into it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Being friends with cosplayers is tough because
yeah.
I love that for them. I love that they're comfortable enough to dress up and do that thing for them.
Hmm.
I am just not ever that comfortable enough to put myself out there like that. I'm just not.
Oh,
I'm just
see?
not.
That's so interesting. We have very different takes, but that's an interesting one. Yeah, I do think it takes a lot of courage and like self confidence and you know to dress up and like go out there in public like that. And I think that the people who do amazing freaking jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. But for me, it's more like I don't want to pretend to be somebody else. I'm good. So
Oh,
like, I don't want to be forced to be like, no, you need to look like a fairy. No, I'm going to go as myself. And if that's not fairy enough or you don't like it, that's tough. That's on you.
oh, this definitely relates to you being closeted. This is 100% that.
Is it? Explain.
This is 100% you being like, I've had to hide a part of myself forever, and therefore
No,
I don't want to put
no.
myself back into a box.
Well, okay. I mean, maybe subconsciously, because I've only been out for like 2 years and this has been me my whole life.
Well, buddy, okay. You've only been out for the last however long. But I'm sure mentally, whether it was the
That's true.
ADHD or the gay thing, you were like, I'm different and I don't want to dress up and be more different than everybody else because I'm already
That's
different.
fair. I'd say that's pretty fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Mm.
And so now that you're like embracing you and your differentness, you're like, no, I don't want to look like everybody else. Stop it.
Yeah, I'm just very not interested in cosplaying anybody else other than myself. I am enough of a character. I have enough personalities, outfits, and everything else for an entire cast of human beings. So unnecessary.
I'm not gonna lie. If I thought I was a better actor or had the face to be multiple things at once, I would totally do it. But it's
Cosplay?
that I know I'm not I just know I'm not a good actor and I just know I'm not good at acting like anything but myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just know I wouldn't do it justice. So I just don't.
I think that's interesting. I do love the people who like go all in and are like full character, even to the point of like their personality. One of the first like Comic Cons that I went to with a bunch of friends where I did dress up, there was this Joker there that I was just like obsessed with, only because like, he looked great, but also he was just playing the role like the whole
Yeah.
time. And I was like, sir, you're amazing. Take pictures with me.
Yeah, see, I would love to do that. I'm not that talented.
Yeah, but that's not everybody though, right? Like some people do
Yeah.
just want to be dressed up as a different character and like go there and be surrounded by other people who like know what their character is and they're not necessarily like playing that role. If that makes sense. It's almost like Halloween sometimes is what it feels like.
Yeah, I also don't like to dress up for Halloween though.
See, I do love to dress up for Halloween.
Oh, I don't. I don't at all. I see no value in dressing up for Halloween.
I love dressing up for Halloween, but I've always been the well, and for a long time in my life I played a straight girl, so as you know. So I've always been the friend in the group who like didn't quite make sense because like everybody else was like a sexy cop or like a sexy pirate, and I was a lion or like a skeleton man. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm dressed up, and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be a flapper this year," and I'm like, "Cool." I'm thinking of being a robot.
So
Maybe Godzilla. I don't know.
this is giving me flashbacks to kindergarten.
Okay.
My mother, we would do like the Halloween parades as kids, you know?
Mhm.
Like your school would take you out and walk you around the block in your costumes, and like that was a cool thing that you did. And one year my mom got me a McDonald's milkshake costume and I was a milkshake.
That's cute.
Like my head was the straw. But it wasn't cute because kids like thought it was so funny to like run up to you and try and like drink you
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah,
you know?
obviously.
And I'm like, this is annoying. This is violating my personal space. I hate this. And a couple of years before that, my brother and my sister got to go as a pair of dice, and it was literally just a very large cardboard box that my mother painted white and black. And it wasn't because we were like hard up and couldn't like afford a costume. It was just because my mom thought it was hilarious and like committed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
that.
I would absolutely be doing that with my children if I had them. First of all, there's nothing wrong with homemade Halloween costumes.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all. There was I think the next year my sister was a bunch of grapes, and it was a purple jumpsuit and then purple balloons that my mom
Yeah,
had safety pinned to her costume.
that's genius. Yeah, I've actually seen that as
Yeah.
as ideas for adult costumes. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, lots of fun ones out there. Yeah, no, I do enjoy dressing up for Halloween for all those reasons. Like, I think that shit is funny. Like, if you were dressed up as a milkshake and walking around at an adult Halloween party, people would still try to drink you. You know what I mean?
I know. I know. And that's why I'll never do it. I'll never do it.
But, like, I think that kind of stuff is funny. So, like, if that was me, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm a milkshake. Let's see how many people are going to try and drink me tonight.
Oh boy. So can we just talk about the cringy couple costumes too? Can we talk about those?
Yeah, like, there are definitely do's and don'ts, I would say.
Right. I don't want to be an outlet and have the other person be a plug. Like, that one grosses me out.
Or, like, you're a hot dog, they're a bun or some shit. Like, I hate those.
Right. Right. I don't want to be a hot dog with sunglasses and the other person be a bun. Okay, I don't want that. Olivia is shouting in the background. Can we do like peanut butter and jelly? Fine. Fine.
Can you each be scissors?
Maggie would like to know if we could each be a pair of scissors.
Does that make it more lesbian appropriate?
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm not gonna opt into being the outlet or the plug, I'm not going to opt into being a pair of scissors.
I figured,
So.
but I wanted to give us an option that wasn't so insertion based.
I'm trying to think if there's any good couple ones that I would like want to be.
I know I've seen some, but I definitely can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, me either.
Damn, I wish they would come to me, but I'm not gonna sit here and think about them.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll be a fighter jet, and Olivia can be the pilot. I'll walk around as an airplane.
Yeah, see, like, those things are cute. Those things are cute. I think things that are, or like famous couples, I think are a cute idea or funny. Like, if you're whatever, the parents from Addams Family.
Well, okay, those are great, sure. But there was one year where everyone was like Snooki and Pauly D.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Ronnie and Sam.
Yeah.
And the Ronnie and Sam ones were particularly bad because everyone was like, oh, this gives me an excuse to act like an asshole.
Right.
And I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
You're emulating Ronnie a little too well right now. Please stop.
But yeah, I'm okay with those. Like, if it's like famous couples, like people would recognize or whatever, or like anything that's like punny. But anything that's like overtly just like obvious or sexual, I'm like, you didn't try. You just didn't even put any effort into this.
So the last 2 times I went to any version of a costume party that involved me having to be in a costume, the last 3, my brother used to work at Best Buy. I put on his shirt and some khaki pants and was like, I work at Best Buy. That's my costume. Fast forward the next year, Jake from State Farm blows up. And so I throw on a red polo and it's hello, my name is, and then it said Jake ... from State Farm. And I had khakis on. So I did that. And then the year after that, I found a reflective vest on the walk to the party. And so I put that on and was like, I work in construction.
I've definitely had a lot of low effort costumes as well. But that's usually because like my Halloween week will consist of like 6 or 7 Halloween parties. And at some point you can't be wearing the same clothes that many days in a row without them being washed.
Yeah, sure.
So there needs to be like an alternate easy costume.
Right. And laundry ain't cheap.
Laundry ain't cheap. Or like if you don't have the time to do it, you know what I mean? So I've definitely pulled like random shit out of my friends' cars before and been like, well, I don't know, this is a gun belt and a helmet, so I guess I'm a soldier.
I'll never forget, Zoe and I were going to a party and she wanted to be like Mary Poppins, and she had to hunt down a like red bow tie.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't find one anywhere. We ended up like spending like $80 on one from Men's Warehouse because they just didn't exist anywhere else. And we were on our way to this party. It was a whole thing. I joked the whole night. I was like, homie, that's the most expensive bow tie I've ever bought in my entire life.
I
like,
swear.
What is that?
I mean, people will spend a lot of money on Halloween, but damn, that was commitment.
Because it was a real bow tie. It was a real like dress bow tie. And I told her afterwards, I was like, I should have taken that because I should have returned it.
You literally would have found a red scarf or sash and tied it into a bow around my neck.
That's the way better move, for sure. For sure.
That's what I would have done, but damn, I hope that bow tie got some good use out of it.
Did we started with sword.
And now we're talking about bow ties. And now I can't stop thinking about, like, if I'm ever in a relationship, I would really want to dress up as a beetle and juice and hope that people can figure it out.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. One of you is the beetle and one of you is a cup of orange juice.
Yeah. And then when we're standing together, whoever can figure it out gets cool points.
You would be Beetlejuice.
Oh.
Olivia just got it. She's on board.
Guess I'm into that.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep that one in your back pocket for the future.
I will. I'll keep that in my back pocket. The next word is charm.
Ooh. Do you want to start? I feel like I'm having a lot of thoughts about that one.
I was gonna say I have quite a few about this.
Yeah,
one.
my head is spinning.
Yeah, so I'll blurt them all out and then we can
yeah,
go from there. The first one, Lucky Charm marshmallows, superior.
Oh, okay.
I don't like pretzel. I don't like pretzels.
Pretzels.
I do love pretzels. I don't like cereal. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, all right, I'm following.
So I don't like cereal. So Lucky Charms, mushrooms. Oh my God, marshmallows. Am I having a stroke? Is that what this is? Lucky Charm marshmallows are okay, but
I'm sorry. I'm honestly a little concerned for your brain right now.
no, but they started marketing the Lucky Charms marshmallows as a separate thing, and they taste different.
Oh.
They're only good if you go through the work of picking them out of the cereal.
Right. If it's just the
Right.
marshmallows, they taste weird. It's because the cereal coats the marshmallows in that extra flavor that you're looking for.
Right. So that was my first thought. My second thought was I loved the television show Charmed.
Oh, yeah.
It had all those witches, right? Dude, it was so
That's a
good.
one. They remade it.
And I watched it. Yeah, I heard the remake was meh. But I watched it for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like every morning when it was on
Mm-hmm.
TNT. They are not a sponsor, but if they want to be, hey. Every single morning
Mm-hmm.
for like hours on end. I like knew most of the plot lines. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
good.
It was a very good show. Also,
My third thought.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't realize till recently why I was so obsessed with that show and literally anything Alyssa Milano did, but it was a good show regardless.
Alyssa Milano was very attractive. Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
But,
So it still is, yes. My third thought is my hatred for those ridiculous Pandora charms that just won't go away or die.
Oh, that's funny. I guess this is similar. I was thinking of the ones that go on Crocs. Like, I don't know if those are called charms or not, but that's like one of the things that popped into my head. Like, you've seen those like rubbery things that you like decorate your charms or whatever.
Yep.
That's what. But same. I think same cuts. I think we're in the same place.
Are those called charms? I wasn't sure if those were called charms.
I can't remember. I literally was at a outdoor market where that's all one vendor was selling. It was just
oh my God.
nothing but those. And I can't remember. So, but that's what I thought of when we said, one of the things I thought of when you said charm. But yes, Pandora's charms for Pandora's bracelets I also hate for the same kind of reason, I think. I feel like those ones, I feel like the ones for docs are just like poor people's Pandora charms.
For Crocs.
Yeah.
I don't, it's like this weird obsession of like, get them all, but don't get them all. But I want a new charm, but I don't want a new charm. I just don't get it. I don't get the appeal of having dangly things for my wrist.
Yeah.
I don't get the appeal.
That's fair.
I just don't get it. And I don't get the appeal of spending all this money on it. Like Disney World, again, not to talk about Disney World, but Disney World again, had like a special Pandora's charm in Disney World. And it was like uber expensive. And I was like, for what? Is there a diamond in it? Oh no. Why is it so expensive?
Yeah. It's the idea of like collector's items, right? It's the
Yeah.
idea of status. And so, like, if you have that on your wrist, it's instantly recognizable whether or not it's a Pandora bracelet and if it's a Pandora charm. And so that gives you some level of status, I guess. But I don't get it either.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Crocs charms things make me upset because I don't like Crocs, and I think Crocs is the biggest like sleeper cell company ever. They like were big and awesome. Then they went to sleep for like 6 years, and then out of nowhere, everyone was like, "Yeah, dude, you're sleeping on Crocs. Crocs are the best. What are
Yeah,
you doing?
right.
Crocs, 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 Crocs."
I blame Post Malone for that 100%, but you know, here we are.
Oh, what does he rock a
He
set of
has
Crocs?
been promoting and working with Crocs for the last like 2 or 3 years. He's had a couple limited edition Crocs come out. He's had like limited edition like Croc charms or whatever the hell you call them come out. And so I 100% blame him for that because I feel like that's when they started getting really popular all of a sudden again. And now they're everywhere because Post Malone said it's okay to wear Crocs in public.
I have tried, guys. I've tried to get on the Crocs train, the Crocs caboose, if you will, and I can't.
Me either. They're
not comfy.
Uncomfortable. No, I can't.
They're not comfortable. They're so hard. They're miserable.
No.
There are holes in them,
Yeah.
so your protection from the elements is zero. People that wear them in healthcare drive me nuts because the whole one specifically, because you take one wrong step, you got a gallon of blood on your feet. Like, why are you doing that? Now, there are the clogs that are covered that are fine for people to wear in healthcare, but they are uncomfortable. They are not comfortable.
I agree, and I'm so glad to hear you say that because I've had this argument for quite a while with someone trying to convince me that Crocs are comfortable and to just give them a try and wear them. And I literally cannot put my feet in them without socks because they are so gross and so uncomfortable. I don't like them touching my feet, and that's never going to change. I don't know why people are, they're so comfy. No, they are not. No.
Nope. I would rather buy a pair of toe shoes like Vibrams and wear those.
I would rather walk barefoot. It is more comfortable for me to be barefoot in the street in the middle of New York City than to be standing in a pair of Crocs. I will scream. Why are they bumpy?
A part of me wonders if we don't like it because it's a texture thing and our ADHD is like, dude, you don't like that.
That's what I wonder too. Because especially during this conversation, because like for me, I was just always like, I don't think they're comfortable. I don't know. But now talking to you, I'm like, okay, maybe it is just the texture, the like sensory thing, because they're bumpy and I don't like that, and it makes it not comfortable and feel weird, and that's all I can think about. And then the holes, there's like weird spots where the breeze is hitting my feet, and then sometimes it's not.
Yes.
No.
I think that's part of it, right? So, yeah, the breeze hitting your feet where you're walking with them and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why is that cold?
Right.
Randomly.
No.
And then it's not again.
Like, there's too many sensory issues with Crocs.
There really are. I'm also 100% wanting someone to get sunburnt around Croc holes because now I just think it would be funny.
I'm sure that's happened before, but I would love for someone to post that because, yeah, it would
I'm
be
sure it's happened
hilarious.
a plethora of times. I'm sure someone's like, yeah, my Crocs are my beach shoe.
Oh my God, I know. I bet somewhere on TikTok someone has shared their weird, like, polka dot tan line feet.
100%. And now that we're talking about it, the creepy algorithm will be like, and here you go.
I fucking know, right? My phone's right here, so as soon as I open TikTok, it's going to be like, oh, look, here's your creepy polka dot tan lines.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I heard you wanted to hear about our Lord and Savior Croc tan lines. Here they are.
Oh my God. God, I love TikTok. But anyway, how are we talking about that?
I got on powerlifting talk somehow. And now I'm following this guy where all he does is like, you know, the poses, but he's also like kind of a justice warrior and he like slams terrible people for doing terrible things.
Cool.
But he actively uses steroids and he's like, I'm not natural anymore. I am on a regimen, but he's like very upfront about it. And I'm like, well, this is the safest way to be upfront about it, I guess. So
yeah, I guess.
I don't know how I got on that version of TikTok, but I'm on that version of TikTok.
That's interesting. I feel like very occasionally I get onto some version of like lifting TikTok and I just try not to stay on there too long because I know if I do, it's going to switch to like men who lift and I don't need that on my feed.
Yeah, I I keep telling Olivia this. I always like the videos where like a cheater gets caught or something, you know,
Oh,
like it's
yeah.
called out.
Yeah.
And because I've liked so many of those videos, I am squarely on cheater talk.
Oh,
And I'm
God.
like, it gets me every time. I'm like, and I'll randomly text her and be like, hey, don't cheat on me. Okay? Thanks.
Oh, stop. Oh, my God.
And she'll be like, okay, sure. And I'm like, no, seriously, like, don't.
She'll be like, sure, Kristine, had no plans to. Definitely still don't, but all
Exactly.
right. Like,
Exactly. Yep. And I'll be like, okay, thanks. Just wanted to check in,
Just
make sure that we were still
you know, the confirmation.
squarely on that. Do not do this list.
That's so funny. I love that.
Was there anything else about charm? Is there anything else about charm we cared about?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered the biggest ones.
We covered the biggest ones. That's what we did. Okay. Ditch. Oh, did you hear me? Ditch.
Yeah, I heard you, and I think my brain froze.
Okay. I have a gripe with this word.
Oh, great. What is it? The spelling or the pronunciation?
No. I hate that it's slang for your antecubital fossa, which is the groove where your inner elbow is. I hate that people call it the ditch of your arm.
Who calls it that? I think I've only heard that like 1 or 2 times. So like I knew what you were talking about, but also like this is my elbow crease.
There's some IV drug use slang that I hear at work.
Interesting.
Where they'll be like, I shot up in my ditch. And I'm like, what does that mean? And they're like, you know, my inner elbow. And I'm like, oh, that is not what I called that. And I remember very distinctly, the first time I heard it, I 100% thought that they meant like their butt crack. And I was like, bro. Yeah. And I remember being like, okay, but how? And I remember the face that I made is very much just like that wide-eyed, like, what are you talking about? And then they went on to explain, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I've just decided I hate that phrase in regards to body parts.
Okay, and that's fair. I obviously am not running in the same circles as you because I don't often hear it referred to in that way. But it does like just make me think of how often things like this happen where like we get used to using a word within like our circle or our community or our bubble, and then we exit the bubble and use the same language with other people and are like, how come you don't know what I'm talking about? Because only you use it that way, bud. You gotta explain yourself sometimes. Like,
yeah, I'm especially super guilty for that. I will call it a hospital to transfer a patient, and I use slang with the people that I work with, and they know what I mean when I'm saying it. For instance, I'll be like, yeah, this kid's throat looks like garbage. And they're like, what? I'm like, his throat looks, you know, erythematous with exudates. It looks bad. And they're like, why didn't you just say that? And I was like, because I'm used to talking to people when I say it looks like garbage. They know what that means. Like, they know that means, oh, it looks bad, or oh, it looks, you know, whatever. It got bad enough one day that the doctor I was transferring to was like, I need to talk to your attending physician. And I was like, okay, I'll go find my attending. And they're like, I'm not trying to be like offensive. Like, I just don't understand what you're trying to say. And I'm like, no, I get it. Yeah, I'm clearly not painting this picture well enough for you. I'll go find them, whatever. When I found them, they said all the same things I did. And then they were like, they hung up the phone and they went, so basically, that doctor was just like, who is this new person? I don't know who they are, and I don't know that I'm trusting what they're saying. So find someone I do know to go talk to. I was like, nah, that's fine. That's
whatever.
Fine.
They needed to do what they needed to do to feel comfy. But yeah, that's tough. That's like a tough thing I'm learning with just communication in general. Because like that happens at my job too, right? Like I'll write copy and stuff that like from things that I see very commonly on TikTok or even Instagram, like other social media places. But then my managers don't spend the same amount of time on social media as I do.
Right.
And so I end up having to explain like common slang and like other things, thinking that like, wait a minute, I thought this made sense to everybody. Apparently it doesn't.
Yeah. I made a video the other day where I told people to yeet their Q-tips out of their house because Q-tips are the devil's existence. And somebody in the comments said, how cringy is it that a millennial is saying yeet? And I was like, I do not think I am cringy at all. I've used yeet forever since it became a thing. I don't know. I got really triggered by that.
Because they called you a millennial. I feel like
I don't know, because they told me I was cringy. I
that
don't
part
know.
maybe.
I
Well,
don't
I
know.
just feel like it's fun. It's funny to me. Whenever things like that get said, I just laugh because it's funny to me. Obviously, younger generations, people who are younger, aren't necessarily going to be aware of or know that the slang that they use amongst themselves actually is slang that's been around for a while or is circling back again or has been used by people older than them for ages. And so a lot of times they show up and they're like, ew, I can't believe you're using this word. And I'm just like, do you realize this is a slang word from the 20s, right? Do you? Like, what are you talking about? So, like, I just laugh.
I just got super grossed out that we are technically in the new 20s.
Yeah, 1920s is what I meant. Yeah, you're right.
No, I know, but I just got really grossed out that when we get into the 30s and we say that, they're going to be like, the 2020s or the 1920s.
Right.
And now I'm
I
grossed
mean, it
out.
happens. It's just part of aging. It was like a minute. It took me a minute to get used to the fact that like pretty much anybody checking my ID when they do ask will just have to look at the first number on the year that I was born and nothing else.
Oh yeah, super gross. I did not think of that until
Yeah.
just now, and I want to crawl into a hole.
Yeah, it happened
and
last
die.
year. Yeah.
That's
so as long
awful.
if it's a 1, you're old enough.
If it's a 1, you're old enough.
Yep. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It was a big conversation amongst a lot of my friends that work at bars, and I was like, "Oh God, yeah, that's right, huh?"
I'm not gonna lie. I moved to New England, and it's like people stopped caring about my ID. Like nobody looks at my ID anymore.
I mean, I felt
when I first moved here, the people at the grocery store would a lot, but I feel like they do it significantly less now. And when we go out to restaurants, I almost never get ID'd, and it's like, oh, my work has caught up to my eyes. I look old now.
I was just gonna say, like, I wonder if that's more of like a big city thing because I hardly ever got carded in Chicago. Like, almost never. People just do not care. But then out here, like, it doesn't happen super often, but I do get carded like way more than I ever did in Chicago. And like, even if I make a joke and all of a sudden they're like not sure, they'll be like, okay, I'm sorry, I have to see your ID. And I'm like, are you fucking, I'm definitely, okay, here you go.
Yeah, right. No, that's, I try and police myself about making jokes in those moments for that exact reason. What's worse is I have an Iowa license. And so I have to point to them where it is. I have to be like, it's right there. And then they're like, I'm like, it's real. I moved here just this year. Relax. Like, but do they hate to feel dumb looking for it.
Yeah, I got my California license pretty fast, which helped with that a lot.
I need to get my Massachusetts license. It's just one of those things that I just have been putting off, and I need to get my passport, and I need to take like a week and a half off to just do errandy type things.
I hear you. My therapist told me to take 2 days off to get my life organized. So what did I do? I took 2 days off to work.
Yep, I need to do the same thing. I'm working one part-time job shift in August, and that's it. And it's because it was required of me. But otherwise, I'm only working my full-time job.
That's good. August. I need to figure out how to do that because I've definitely overextended, and I don't know how to make this work anymore. I don't have enough hours in the day.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, you gotta fix that, friend.
So yeah. And on that note,
you gotta fix it. You gotta fix that. On that note, we will end here.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a word that rhymed with here, and I just couldn't think of one.
Beer.
I guess deer would have worked.
Yeah, that would have worked. I don't know why I thought of beer, but...
Well, we were just talking about IDs, which does usually correlate to alcohol purchases, so that's excused. Okay, I'm going to go stand in a pool.
That sounds slightly enjoyable. Will other people be standing in it with you?
Olivia will also be standing in it with me, yes.
As long as they're not strangers.
No, her mother is out of the country, and her father is home alone at their house, and we thought we better check in on him, and that involves being in a pool. Yeah.
Well, that sounds very nice today, because I hear that there's a massive heat wave happening where you are, so enjoy it.
It is hotter than Hades here. I'm pretty sure it's in the 90s for sure. Yeah, in the 90s for sure. Hotter than Hades' armpit is how I described it earlier in one of my many failed intros for the puzzle video.
I will not have any commentary on the weather because I didn't know there was a heat wave for like 4 days. So...
Okay. on that real note, bye, friends.